you go up a man so early in the match?
It should. Ton of credit to LaSalle. I mean, I just said to the guys, there's something to learn from playing with 10 men. They had no quit in them whatsoever. I have a lot of admiration for how they approached the game up to that point. I don't mind saying I spoke to the coach and said I thought the red was a little harsh. Obviously, I've not seen a replay or anything of that. But their approach and their mentality, it felt like the game remained engaged and there was life to it. Even with 10 minutes to go, he was still coaching. Their bench was still up, and a ton of credit goes to the nature of how they applied themselves. And there's something that we can learn from that. Hopefully, we don't find ourselves with 10 men at any point in the season, but the way they applied themselves, I have a ton of respect for how they approached it. So, yes, it does change it. We have one of the biggest fields in college soccer, so even against 11 it can be a challenge. So the way that we were able to move the ball and just kind of circulate without them really being able to kind of have a line of confrontation, we just needed to keep decisions really, really simple and recognize that we could arrive in the final third without us having to go away from any kind of simple choices. We just fell victim a couple of times. It's difficult because the players want to play with their creative identity and they want to try a few things every now and then, and we don't want to stifle that creative license, but we also have to understand the game didn't require anything beyond simple in order for us to at least arrive in the final third. So the third goal was a wonderful example of a bit more patience and a bit more methodical in the way it developed and the way we broke down that right side to access Price at the back post.
You kind of scored a goal in every way: corner, free kick, individual effort from Marcus, and then, like you said, kind of build up to one. Is that good to see, especially in the second game of the year?
Yeah, we've been really, really pleased over the last two weeks or so, last 3 games in particular, just how dangerous we've looked. Set pieces was an area of emphasis following the Manhattan game, and we felt like we didn't create enough scoring opportunities from our set pieces, and then obviously conceded from a set piece. That's a really, really big margin. We actually spoke a lot about Arsenal's success in the Premier League. I think they have 12 more corner kick goals than any other team in the Premier League over the last year and a bit. So the quality and consistency of service is everything, and obviously Dequadax has put in a wonderful ball for Tice's goal, and I thought has given a fantastic account of himself again tonight as well. So we have some really, really good impact players coming in off the bench right now that's adding a dimension to that attacking threat, because it doesn't give up, right? It doesn't let up when we give Marcus a break, when we can afford to keep Pablo out of the game because he gets a yellow card and we don't want to risk anything silly, and yet still have dynamic, dangerous players that come in and make an impact. It's a really, really dangerous front line that we have right now, and it's not just the guys starting.
Dan, you mentioned to the broadcast crew that you wanted to make sure the second half was better, keep the clean sheet and all those things. You did those things tonight. Were you pleased with the performance in the second half all the way top to bottom?
Yeah, I just think, like I said, I think it was some small details we needed to clean up. And then, like I said, the only moment they fell short was just when we got a little bit too excited or tried something a little bit beyond what was necessary in the moment. But the details of where the game was played, the details and attention to controlling space was much better than what we saw on Thursday against Manhattan. So pleased with that for sure.
Marcus, 30th and 31st career goals. First of all, good to get him going so early in the season, and then just kind of what he's meant to the program. I mean, you talked about in the preseason, his legacy is up there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got 2 centre forwards on 3 goals each right now through 2 games. I don't know there'll be another team that will have something like that, and they feel really good about themselves. It's I don't recall exactly when we brought Pablo off, but he's got a big grin on his face. He's happy with where the team's at. He's obviously happy with his contribution. And Marcus just looks like he's enjoying himself, honestly. I think where Marcus has looked really, really good this year is in the first 2 games. He's kept things relatively simple. His power, his pace, his strength to run behind the line. He's got in these dangerous assist areas in the corner of the 18 where he keeps arriving, where it's just difficult for anyone on our team or on anyone's team in the country to just stay with him. His athleticism and power, and he seems really willing to simplify some of his choices to run behind the line, to be a dangerous threat, and as a result create more. And we knew when we recruited Pablo that he's the type of player that will arrive on the end of things. He has a knack for knowing where to be and where the ball's going to come to in the box. He got his rewards on Thursday. Obviously Marcus got his today, and we think we hope there's certainly a world that exists where they can both be incredibly dangerous for us for the rest of the season.
Dan, that goal that he scores late, where he like flicks it past the keeper and finishes with his weak foot, like, that felt special. Is that a special type of
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't have unbelievable talents, and we've seen it throughout the course of his time at the program. I think there's an aspect of Marcus's continued maturity where he recognises that what he does well is also really, really dangerous and really, really effective. And Marcus is quicker, stronger, scarier than a lot of the defenders he comes up against, and that might be enough. His talent, his skill, his capacity to finish with both feet, his aerial threat now are wonderful talents as well. But again, he's reaping the rewards of I think some firstly an incredible work ethic. His GPS data is going to be through the roof again for us. A willingness to run hard and run behind the line consistently, and then simplifying some choices. And I think it's 3 goals and 4 assists through 2 games. So long may that continue.
So you guys have Akron coming up on the road Friday. I recognize you guys. This group has only been together for like 3 weeks, and there's still a lot you were maybe feeling out. But how important is this match, especially with how things ended last year with the seeding in the NCAA?
Yeah, I mean, we have a stretch now. I would say it's not just Akron. We have Gardner Webb coming here the week after, a tournament team that's won their first two games. We go to George Mason, a team that under a new coach did exceptionally well last year and were ranked last year, and will have something to say. Narrowly lost out at Marshall in their first game of the season. And then a High Point team that's just beat Georgetown, also coming here shortly after that. So we have a stretch now, with respect at least on paper, although again I think LaSalle will do well. We kind of anticipated that we kind of have a 4 or 5 game stretch right now where they may not be your household names. It's not a Kentucky or others of that kind of power conference tag, but that's the beauty of men's soccer, is that there are mid-major schools like some of those I've mentioned that are exceptional, and will give us a really, really good challenge. So yeah, a road win at a top 25 school, a ranked team is really important, but so is the one the week after that against Gardner Webb, and the one after that at George Mason. So we know we're entering a stretch of the season that's really, really important to continue to pick up results. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.